Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I have 3 more tower block DIYs and I'm going to be using this paper from Dollar Tree. It's the peel and stick wallpaper and these are some scrap pieces I have left and one full sheet, so I thought I would use them up. And for the first DIY you're going to need 266 blocks, which is 4 boxes, and some Dollar Tree super glue wood glue. I'm gluing together 3 rows of 15 blocks. And I like to set them all out first and make sure they all fit together properly before I glue them. So I'm choosing that wallpaper to make my DIYs, but you could use any of the Dollar Tree peel and stick wallpaper, or you could just not put the wallpaper on these and just use the blocks, and you can also paint them and stain them any colour you like. This is just what I chose to do. And if you can't find this wallpaper, I did find it on Shein, and I will leave a link down below. You can buy a whole roll of it. I think I'm going to get it to decorate the upstairs bathroom because I just think it's so beautiful. So I was filming these late, like 2-3 in the morning, so I made loads of mistakes in this video, but I'll show you how I fixed them. So I'm gluing 5 tower blocks up each side, and that's when I realised that I only needed 14 blocks and not 15. But you can make it bigger if you want to and use more blocks. This is just the size I decided I was going to do. And I actually did end up making this one again because it's a little bit uneven at the end. So I'm just gluing 4 blocks end to end. And then in an L shape, I'm going to glue another 5 blocks. And I'm going to do this twice. And then I'm going to glue them together next clip. And I made 2 of each of these parts that I just showed you. So this is me gluing them together now. I was gluing the wrong bit. So see, here's 2 of each. And then I am just going to glue one together because that's going to be the base. And I'm gluing some extra blocks in just for some extra support. And I just glue that on top and make sure it's even all the way around the edge. So you can see I already made one, and it's 2 blocks side to side with 4 blocks up each side. And these are going to be for the sides of the box. Just making sure it's all straight. And then I'm making 2 of these, and they are just 2 by 2. And now these are 10 blocks, 5 on each side, and I made 2 of them. And this is 5 blocks and it's 4 rows high, and I also made 2 of those. So if you don't want to use blocks on the inside and you still want to use the wallpaper, you could just use some cardboard or some foam board. And here I am just gluing some wee half beads on for feet on the base, and then I decided to glue on some more blocks. It's up to you if you want to put extra on. You can always put them on before. And then I am using some plaster Waverly chalk paint, and I just watered it down so that I can just give it a wash of paint. She has so many peel and stick wallpapers now, you could use any of them with whichever colour, paint or stain that you want to go with it. Also, you can get like cheap peel and stick wallpaper, whole roll off of Shein and Temu and stuff, so you could always use that. So I'm just going to measure how big I want this to be. I want to leave enough room at either side so that I can glue the top piece on. But I'm leaving a wee bit overhanging on the shorter sides because so that you don't see the gap when I glue it together. So I'm just measuring it with a ruler, and then I'm going to cut it out with some scissors. Just checking it. So these DIYs use a lot of blocks, but they're definitely worth it in the end when you see them. And again, you can always use some foam board or some cardboard to stick the peel and stick wallpaper to, if you don't want to use all those extra blocks. So I am just going to glue the top piece on now, and just making sure it's even at each side. I'm just going to measure the paper for the side. I just want it to be like, say, half a centimetre on, no, it's less than half a centimetre on each side, just enough so that I can glue it to the front piece, and then I want it overhanging a tiny bit at the sides. I'm just going to stick that on, and then I'm going to glue the top piece on. I'm making sure that the side that is the flat piece that was on the table, which has the bits of glue on it, is going to be on the back. And then just make sure it's in the right position. And then I'm going to do the side now. So I'll do 2 of these and 2 of the shorter pieces, because it's a box and it's got 4 sides. So I'm just doing the same thing here, just measuring it all. You could also use napkins and decoupage these parts, or use scrapbook paper. So I'm just going to stick it down now, and then glue the top part on. And I couldn't do it all the way to the sides because this all has to fit together, which you'll see just now. So I'm just gluing the sides of the smaller pieces, and then I'm going to fit it all together. Just propping it up with with the plaster chalk paint bottle and some more tower blocks. I'm going to leave that to dry. I've turned the top of the DIY upside down, and then I'm going to position the box where it's going to sit on when it's underneath it, and then I'm going to glue these 4 pieces of tower block in place, and those are just to hold the lid in place when I put it back on. So you're not gluing the box to it, you're just gluing those pieces in place, and then I'll stain them with the white chalk paint. And now this is the base, and I am gluing the box in place. And this is how it turned out. You could put a knob on the top if you wanted to, but I chose not to. It's up to you. But this is what it looks like when the box is closed. And then this is it when it's open. And I was originally going to make a riser and make this close. I was like, why would I do that? So you can also use it as a riser, and nobody even needs to know that you could hide some stuff inside it. This DIY, you need 83 tower blocks, which is 2 boxes, and some wood glue. So I'm going to glue 2 tower blocks end to end, and then I'm going to glue 4 up one side, 4 in the middle, and then another 4 at the other side, and then another 2 tower blocks at the top. And you can see I already made 3 because you're going to need 4 of these. And now I am making the base, and I'm gluing 2 tower blocks together like this, and then I'm going all the way around in a circle so that it makes a square. And then I'm going to glue tower blocks all around the outside. But when I started to put this together, I realised that I hadn't made this big enough, so later on I'll show you how I fix it and make it big enough. So I have 2 more scrap pieces of paper, and this is like the full length of the sheet, and I am just cutting them in half. And then I have to measure them and cut them down, and I actually made them too big, so I do have to trim them down later in the video, because when I was going to put this together, it wasn't going to fit because I'd made the sides too wide. And then I just have a piece of cardboard, and I'm going to just stick it down to the cardboard and then cut it out, and I'll do that for all the pieces. And then I painted everything with some Waverly plaster chalk paint that's been watered down. I won't show you me painting it all, so I will do the rest off camera. Here I'm just measuring again, and I'm going to cut it down. It's just the width is obviously too wide, but the length is perfect. So I'm just cutting it with some scissors after I measured it. And then I am going to hot glue this piece on, and I'll do the rest of them off camera. So here's all my pieces. You can make a part for the top, which I was supposed to do, but I didn't remember until now. I'm watching the video, so that the top looks like the base with a bit sticking out. So I'm just gluing these pieces together. It's kind of like a rectangle. And then I took one piece off because I was like, this isn't gonna work. So I glued some tower blocks on the bottom, just in the corners to hold it together while the glue dried. And then I attached that side again. And then I just put some glue at the top in the corners, just to make sure it all holds together. I got rid of all the wee glue strings. And now I'm going to glue the base on, and that's when I realised I hadn't made it big enough. So I was thinking of just leaving it like that. I was like, no, I can't do that. So I just got 3 tower blocks, and I had to cut one down with my miter shears. And then I just glued them in place. And then once they were dry, I just took the paint and painted them. I also painted on the top inside of the box, on the vase, whatever it is, planter. And then this is how it turned out. And 28 blocks for this DIY, which is 6 boxes. And then some wood glue. So I am making the fronts of the drawers, because this is a wee chest of drawers. So I made 3 of these, and they are just 2 blocks by 2 blocks in a rectangle. This DIY uses a lot of blocks, but you can cut it down if you use the cardboard or the foam board instead. And then I am gluing together 12 tower blocks, 6 on each side, and then I'm going to do 2 on the ends, each end of this, and I made 2 of these. And now I am doing 6 tower blocks with 2 in the middle, facing the other way, and then another 6 tower blocks. And then I am going to glue tower blocks around the outside of this, and I made 2 of those as well. I'm making 2 rectangles and they are 3 blocks by 3 blocks. And one of these is going to be the base, so I'm adding some extra blocks inside it. Then I decided to add some more blocks. And then I am adding some wee half beads for feet. So I'm gluing together 6 blocks, and then it's going to be 3 blocks high, and then 2 tower blocks facing the other way, and then the same on the top. 6 blocks by 3, but this is actually wrong. You actually need 7 blocks, and then 2.5 in the middle. And I made 2 of these because these are the sides, but I do show you later on. I realised that I had done it wrong, and I show you me fixing it. And this is the back of my drawers, and it is 8 blocks along and 3 blocks high, and then 2.5 in the middle, and then another 8 blocks by 3 blocks. So I'm just going to glue them all together. I know this is a lot of blocks, but it's so worth it. Sometimes it's worth it just doing the extra work. I have to say that because I always do all these hard DIYs. No, but it definitely is worth it. I really do love how this one turned out. So I'm just going to glue the last 3 rows together now. So I made 3 of these, but I only actually needed 2 because I don't know, I was thinking 3 drawers, 3 shelves. So these are 8 blocks by and 2 blocks high, and you only need 2 of them. So I'm going to glue these 2 pieces together. This is the base, just deciding which I'm going to make the front, and then glue them together. And these are 5 tower blocks, and then another 5 tower blocks on the side. And I actually made 15 of these because these are for the drawers. So you need 5 for each drawer. I'm going to use 1 for the base and put glue around the outside, and then I'm going to glue it's fallen over, the backs and the sides. And then let me just mix a box. So here's my 3 boxes. Oh, and I also made sure that the front of it was the flat side, which was on the table when I made it, because that's the side that you gotta stick the wallpaper to. I think I forgot to say that in the other DIYs. Whoopsie. But you need to use the flat side for the wallpaper. Anyway, I'm using the plaster chalk paint, and I am just giving it a wash of that. And then you see I have 3 wee mushrooms there, and those are the wee mushrooms from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint them as well because I'm going to use them as knobs for the drawers. So here I am just measuring for the top of the drawers, and I'm doing the same thing as I did for the first DIY. And I did forget to mention that it has to be on the flat side. So I just had it overlapping a wee bit at the sides because I don't want to see any gaps. and then I'm just going to glue it in place. Okay, so here's my drawers, and then this is the flat side. You can make all the sides sticking out, the flat sides, if you want to. But I'm just measuring it, and then I'm going to cut it. Well, I'm going to measure the 3 at one time on the paper, because I want the paper, well, the pattern to like continue through the drawers. So I'm just measuring them all out, and then I'm going to cut them down. Yeah, I do love this wallpaper. I can't wait to see what Dollar Tree comes out with next. I don't know how they can beat this one. We'll see. So you just cut it with some scissors. And then you can stick them to the fronts of the boxes. I actually stuck them in the wrong place at first. I stuck them in the middle. But what I should have done, and I'll realise in the next clip, that I should have stuck the sticker to the top. But it came off easily. It was easy to move it because I had long stuck it down. Here, this is when I realised, and then I had to move the sticker up. Because the bottom of that frame is going to sit at the bottom of the drawer. I just have to do it with the next ones. And then you can just line up the tower blocks in the middle there, with the middle of the drawer. So I just used some wood glue for this, just to finish the video. I didn't want to go and rummage around in the cupboard just trying to find screws, but you should definitely screw these on. And then now I'm going to put my pieces together, and I don't know why I was making it so difficult. I put some tower blocks underneath because that one is sticking out, so it'll be steady, and then I was going to put the top on first and then the sides. And I thought this would be a good idea because I need to work out where the shelves are going to be before I glue it all together. But now you guys know where the shelves are going to be. You could just put it together and then paint it after you put it together if you want. Yeah, I only need 2 shelves, so I was picking which 2 I wanted. So I'm just putting them in place, and then I'm going to glue on the sides, just checking it again. So I'm just going to glue all that together, but don't make DIYs late at night. I make too many mistakes. I just don't have time during the day with the baby, so I gotta stay up late if I want to do some DIYs. So I'm just going to glue the other piece on now, and then in the next clip I decided to take the top off, and I turned it over, and because this is when I realised that I should have just put an extra tower block on the ends here, which I told you guys about earlier. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just adding the extra tower blocks all along the side. I do that on both sides. This was a wee bit I cut off earlier, and that fit in there. And then I do the same on the other side. And then I just have to take my miter shears and cut down a wee piece to fill in at the side there in the middle. I was just marking it with a pencil and then cutting it down. And then I glue that in place. Obviously I have to go back and paint those parts. But I'm gluing the top. Was this the top? No, this is the base. I'm gluing the base on. And then I'm going to glue the top on. Obviously it was a much better way of doing it than whatever I was trying to do before. And here it is. I love how this turned out, even though it gave me a headache at the time. It was worth it, but at least you guys know how to make it without all the mistakes now. But let me know which one of these DIYs is your favourite. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!